longitudinal honor of my life was to be Carl Sagan's co-writer for 20 years, and his collaborator. Sorry? Okay. To be Carl Sagan's collaborator for 20 years, and to write a Cosmos television series with him and the astronomer Stephen Soder. And the tradition of great scientists reaching out to the public to share what they know goes back perhaps to Galileo with the starry messenger, Michael Faraday in this country, really changed our idea of what a scientist should be by instituting the Christmas lectures, which were for children and for the larger public. And this kind of act of civic passion is so critical, because I believe that among the many dysfunctions of our civilization is this horrendous disconnect between what we know, what science has helped us discover over just the last 400 years, and what we feel inside. We are the victims of magical thinking, and only the tiniest handful of us understand the values, the methodology, the language of science. And so when a great scientist, such as Professor Hawking, reaches out to the public, to the widest possible public, writing children's books with his daughter Lucy, doing television programs for the general public, going to places where people who don't know that they would love science can be found, to the audiences of The Simpsons and The Family Guy. This is a great act of citizenship, and it gives me tremendous hope for the future, because Professor Hawking is not only known the world over, but I really believe that he's loved the world over, and that he stands for the courage that it takes to look the universe squarely in the eye and be willing to find out that it's nothing like you imagined it to be. And so the Cosmos Award honors Carl Sagan, who was that same kind of human being, and who felt that he was so fortunate to have been able to get such a first-rate education, and that it was incumbent upon him to share the wonder, the awesome wonder of the universe and nature itself, revealed by science, with as many as possible. Thank you.
So I come to the stage as a member of the board of the Planetary Society, and also having had several, not many, but quite influential encounters with Carl Sagan back in the 1970s and 1980s, where I'm a different scientist because of that encounter. And I would not have known of Carl Sagan were it not for him stepping out into the public venues for people to then learn and understand not only the latest discoveries, but the meaning of the latest discoveries. And that tradition, which is what inspires this Cosmos Award, as Annie said, it goes back. I mean, Galileo wrote for the public. He wrote in Italian so that the townspeople could understand what he was saying. Townspeople not otherwise literate in Latin. And so, but I don't have to go that far back to establish this. Right on through time, you have Count Rumford, for example, wrote for the public. You have Albert Einstein, wrote extensively for the public, not only on issues of science, but also on social issues. Because at some point, the scientist recognizes that your discoveries matter to the health and future of a civilization. And there comes a time when a scientist recognizes this and feels compelled to then share that with the public. And we are privileged that some of the greatest minds that have ever been devoted to science have taken on this task. And the list goes on. We have Richard Feynman, who wrote for the public. We have Sir Martin Rees, who has at least half a dozen publications telling us all about the universe and even before the universe began. And in there we have, beginning with The Brief History of Time, a book that needs no introduction, although in fact its introduction was written by Carl Sagan. Maybe he did need an introduction, I don't know. There's a book that is basically on everybody's shelf. Who owns a science book owns that book. It's on their shelf. And Professor Hawking didn't end there. His efforts continued and continue to this day. As Annie mentioned, now venturing into the world of children's books, recognizing, of course, that before you're an adult, you're a child. And somebody's got to be thinking about that too. So it is our deepest honor and privilege to recognize the public sharing of the cosmos by Stephen Hawking with the Cosmos Award. The Planetary Society presents the Cosmos Award for the Outstanding Public Presentation of Science to Stephen W. Hawking, February 27th, 2010.
Stock thief.